All right, now it's time for me. Yeah, that's right. BFTAA and More show with your host, Louis George Walker, is coming to you live and in living color right now. So we're ready to join you. So let's get started with the show. This show is brought to you by the Black Family Technology Awareness Association and the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. All right, all right, all right. Hey, how's everybody doing this evening, this afternoon? I am glad to be here with you, trying a little different setup, but I hope you enjoy that we're coming to you live from a remote location. That's right. This is the BFTAA and More show. I am your host, Louis George Walker, coming to you with information and things that are going on in the community, technology events that are happening, and a lot more of what's going on with technology around the world and beyond. Everybody knows that AI is big in the news, and cybersecurity is definitely a big thing. There's a lot of hacking that's been going on. So you want to make sure that you try and keep your devices, whatever device you use, secure. Antivirus, anti malware, any kind of protection to keep from getting hacked. Be careful with your passwords and just, you got to be safe on the internet. We've had our scout system down for a while, and I won't. I may look and see if I can find out some details on that. But it's really been interesting with all the hacking that's been going on in Jackson County. We've had hospitals. There's a lot of things. But this is BFTAA and More. You're listening to KUAW Radio. KUAW stands for Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. It is a project of the Black Family Technology Awareness Association and the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. It is our attempt to give more information to the community about things that are going on in the community. So not only is BFTAA one of the shows, but we have other shows that give you more community information. And if you listen on Saturdays with Wake Up KC and the Carl Boyd Show, Wave Your Grades, you'll hear some different information that's going on. We also have senior moments that give you some cooking tips from Millie. So we're just glad to be on the air with you. And don't forget our sports broadcast that comes on every Thursday called Any Given Sunday. Any Given Sunday's on every Thursday. So, hey, go figure. But yeah, this is us. So you can listen to us if you have a Bluetooth speaker in your car. All you have to do is go to the TuneIn app or Get Me Radio, Online Radio Bot, My Radio Tuner, or Radio Garden, and you can play this over your car speakers. We're on all of those internet sites. We're also on your Apple and Roku uh, TV sites, so if you go there and search KUAW, you'll be able to pick up the audio portion and you won't get this video. This video that you're seeing right now is when we do our live broadcast, and this is on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X. We do upload some of it to X to run there. So we've got a lot of different ways that you can pick up what's going on at KUAW Radio. So we hope that you would avail yourself of what we're doing and what we're putting out for the community. Also, if you have a smart speaker, you can listen on your Amazon or Google speaker. Tell it to play KUAW Radio, and we'll come right in on that. So there's no excuse, no reason why you shouldn't be listening to KUAW Radio. We play some of the best in jazz and blues music. Yes, we've got some old school. You can hear the Temptations here. You can hear some old rap and some funk. So all of that's coming to you right here. We also have a partnership with some of our live shows, such as this, on KOJH LPFM 100.5. You can pick us up there. So there's a lot of ways that you can listen to KUAW Radio, and we just hope that you would join us from time to time and check out what we're putting out. That's right. So this show here, I want to start. We usually show you a lot of what's going on at NASA, and in 33 minutes, let me look that up, or less than 30 minutes now, and I may try to switch to it live. Let's see what time they've got. That this is going to go on. In 22 minutes and 11 seconds and counting, NASA's going to be doing their Boeing crew launch. They're launching the Starliner, and we're hoping that we can pick that up live and show it to you live as it is happening. Oops, wait a minute. We don't want to get the commercials here. And we can skip the ad. There we go. So, let's see if we can let you see this. We don't have, wait a minute, 22 minutes it says. I think I'm going live here. So I'll be looking at this. The Starliner is supposed to be launching while this show is going on, and we do a lot of sharing with you things that are going on at Cape Canaveral, or with NASA, really, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. I'm going to go to that in a minute, but today we maybe be able to broadcast a live launch of the Starliner that's going up into space to rendezvous with the space station. So this is going to be the same capsule, not the same capsule. It may be the same capsule. I don't know if it's reusable or not. But the Starliner is Boeing's spacecraft that they're using that's going to be just like the SpaceX craft that goes up. And they're going to be carrying people to the moon. And they're going to be going to the moon, I think, in 2025 or 2026. So we're watching that right now. They're on the launch pad. I don't see that they're actually launching. I show that there's 20 minutes and 19 seconds before launch. But on the live pad, and let me see if I can get you this so you can see it. This is really going to be a nice thing, and hopefully we can show this to you live as it is happening. We'll see if we can get another. I don't know if I can get another. Yeah, I think I can. Let's see. Okay, let's see what we can do right here. Okay, we're going to try and see if we can bring you that.
Hi, I'm Nicole Hockley from Sandy Hook Promise.
Well, this is the commercials that they have on.
The shooter who murdered my son carried an AR-15 into
let's see. How do we get out of this?
People in approximately 4 minutes. In those 4 minutes,
great. Just a second, you guys. Hang in there with me.
Bullets hit my 6-year-old son, Dylan, and in an instant, my boy was gone. Right now, Congress is considering legislation to make purchasing assault weapons illegal. This is important.
See what we got going here right now.
The life of my son. So please, sign the petition and demand Congress take action against assault weapons. Help us save lives today. Thank you.
Well, that's not even. Oh, yeah, now you asked if I want to skip it. Where was that at? Rocket Video.
With a focus on design, Garage Living creates custom garage interiors.
Okay. All right, we're listening and seeing some things right now that have nothing to do. There we go. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. Takes a second sometimes to get all of the players in place. Let me shrink that while I'm talking with you. Yeah, this is the actual. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to keep this down in a smaller corner. Let's take it down there. Now that is actually the Starliner countdown that is going on at Cape Canaveral. And they're going to be launching while the BFTAA and more show is going on. So wanted to get that up there so that we can see it when it actually happens, in case I get to talking and time gets away from me and I don't keep track of what's going on. I wanted to make sure that we had it in a way. We're actually, let's see now. It says we're 17 minutes and 23 seconds away from the launch. So you're going to be able to watch that here on KUAW, which is broadcasting NASA's live stream. So that's what we're going to be seeing going off. This is being brought to you by the government. But we're going to wait just a second, and we're going to go into a couple of other things that we have going on today. Yes. So let's look at, as we talk about what goes on at NASA. NASA is one of our premier research and development for flight, for space exploration. It's the government putting our government dollars to work, really looking at how we can get deeper into space, how we can do more exploration, and how we can fly and do things here on Earth more efficiently. So a lot of the technology, a lot of the work that develops these new rockets, new machinery for going into space actually ends up doing a lot to help right here on Earth. So they're learning a lot about flight, learning a lot about the atmosphere, and developing new technologies that will benefit us in the future, if not right now. So as we get ready to go on into it, let's check out what's going on Space to Ground. This is our space station, and they're going to be talking a little bit about the launch that's coming up. So I'm going to take you right now to Space to Ground from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
Welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Nilofer Ramchi. Today, we're at NASA's Mission Simulation and Training Facility at the Johnson Space Center. And sitting tall behind me is NASA's Boeing Starliner spacecraft training mock-up. We are on the heels of NASA's Boeing crew flight test mission to the International Space Station. And this episode will take you behind the scenes for the mission. But more on that in a minute. Let's begin by taking a look at what took place aboard this week aboard the space station. Researchers from the Canadian Space Agency's VECTION investigation recently published scientific results. VECTION examines how microgravity affects the ability to visually interpret motion, orientation, and distance, as well as how this ability may adapt during and after spaceflight. During pre-flight and early in-flight, astronauts perceive that they have traveled longer distances when lying down than when sitting upright. This perception likely reflects increased use of visual cues both when lying down and in microgravity, since vestibular cues are less reliable in those situations. Impairments in the ability of astronauts to judge their motion and orientation to estimate distances can have serious operational consequences. Perceiving self-motion typically involves visual, vestibular, and other cues, and relying only on visual cues may bias this perception. Results from the VECTION investigation could improve safety wherever movement under microgravity conditions is required. Over the weekend, NASA's SpaceX 30th cargo resupply mission departed the space station, heading for a splashdown off the coast of Florida. On Sunday, April 28th, the Dragon spacecraft undocked from the Harmony module space-facing port of the International Space Station as part of the company's 30th commercial resupply services mission for the agency. The SpaceX Dragon spacecraft returned to Earth on Tuesday, April 30th, with completed experiments and various research samples. The undocking of the cargo Dragon was a first step of a spacecraft ballet. On Thursday, the 4 crew members of SpaceX Crew 8 conducted a port relocation to prepare for the arrival of another vehicle. The crew relocated Endeavour, their SpaceX Dragon spacecraft, from the forward-facing docking port to the space-facing port of the Harmony module. The relocation opens Harmony's forward port for the docking of NASA's Boeing crew flight test mission. Now let's get back to why we're here. The upcoming mission to the space station will be the first launch of astronauts on the Boeing CST-100 Starliner spacecraft, which will be launching to the space station no earlier than Monday, May 6th. The mission will transport NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams to and from the space station for the first flight with crew to certify the Starliner and its system for regular crew rotation missions. This flight is also the first crewed launch on the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket, and the first time astronauts will have launched on an Atlas Family class rocket since Gordon Cooper on the last Mercury program flight aboard Faith 7 in May 1963.
LH2, go. LH2, go.
We've developed and approved a crew training plan for the CFT mission for Butch and Sunny. All the subsequent Starliner crews will also go through the same training plan, although we'll be looking for lessons learned from CFT to perhaps modify or improve that training plan. The The CFT mission is slightly different in that it's a flight test. We have 2 flight test pilots on board the mission, Butch and Sunny, and we'll be doing some things to Starliner or with Starliner that are a little outside the normal automated processes and the things that future Starliner crews might see. For instance, we'll be doing some operational checkouts of the spacecraft, some manual piloting. We'll also be testing some of the navigation systems to see if Starliner can recover in case it loses track of where it is. So those kinds of objectives have actually added some challenges to the training plan for Butch and Sunny that we hope that future Starliner crews won't have to go through.
So what do you or your team hope to take away from this flight?
One of the things we're going to focus on primarily is Starliner, the spacecraft, and how it performs. Beyond that, I'm looking for the crew performance, how the crew performs the tasks that we've trained them to do. I'm also looking at the team performance, the flight control teams, how the teams interact with each other, and how the mission is successful and safe. Also, we plan to take away lots of lessons learned that we can apply to the training plans for future Starliner crews or the execution of those missions.
And liftoff. Starliner is headed back to space.
Having another commercial crew provider will provide NASA flexibility. Also, it will provide redundancy. I also think it'll provide an emphasis on innovation, as these providers will want to continue to improve their spacecraft and their experiences for the crew flying them.
After the successful completion of the mission, NASA will begin the final process of certifying Starliner and its systems for a regular crewed rotation to the space station, an added capability. NASA Television and NASA Plus will have continuous coverage for the upcoming Starliner mission from launch in Florida to the moments when Sunny and Butch are inside the space station after docking. You can also join this mission and follow along on X at commercial_crew or at blogs.nasa.gov/commercialcrew. That's Spacegram for this week. Thanks for watching.
All right, yes, that's Space to Ground right now. So, yeah, they're talking about that. It's going to be launching in about 10 minutes. In about 10 minutes, we're going to watch the launch of this Starliner. And it's made by Boeing. You know, Boeing is really looking to do good with this because they've been in the news a lot lately for things not going right. And this is a chance for Boeing to show that they can still be one of the top players in aeronautics in the United States and in the world. So we're rooting for Boeing, we're rooting for Starliner and the crew, the test pilots and all, to go up there. And in a few minutes, we'll actually be able to watch the takeoff. As long as everything goes right, they'll be taking off at 6:30 our time, or 5:30 our time, 6:30 Eastern time. What was up there. So it's about 9 minutes and we'll be able to watch that takeoff. Now, before we go into that, though, let's talk about something that's going to be happening right here in Kansas City that we're a part of. Yes, it is Remake Learning Days. Yeah, you see it right there. Yeah, Remake Learning Days is an event that's going on all over Kansas City for the first 2 weeks, a little more than 2 weeks of May. It started May the 1st. It ends May the 16th. You can go to remakelearningdays.org, Kansas City, and see where a lot of the events are happening. There's things that are happening that are open to the public. Some are not. Some are going to be happening in schools for just the students of those schools or stuff. But there's a lot of activities that are going to be going on free all around the city that anybody can go to. And one of those will be hosting the Black Family Technology Awareness Association is going to be hosting the BFTAA and Robots and Drones. Here we come. Yeah, that's right. We're going to have robots. We're going to have some drones out, and we're going to be flying them. That's going to be happening this Saturday. This Saturday at 4510 East Linwood Boulevard at the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center, which is located... Oops. What else have I got going here? Something didn't cut off. I'm hearing something else talking here. Just a second. I'll be right back, you guys. Well, I don't see it going on there.
Has proven to be a one-of-a-kind laboratory.
What is going on? Space to ground. No, that's not it. Okay, we've got something else that is broadcasting with us here. And I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I can hear it. It's actually something that is being broadcast over YouTube, I think, or Facebook. It's coming up on the screen. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got it shut off that you guys aren't hearing this, but it's kind of distracting to me. So read the Remake Learning Days brochure or flyer here for just a second while I try and find the culprit for this sound. There you go. Okay, let's see. I got to go through all of my web pages now to see what is actually out there. Play. Not that. So let's go up here. She would have her eyes closed. He would read her the important dates. She would be able to absorb that, and then he would ask her questions. But something strange started happening. Always something a little bit fun that can happen when you're online. Now let me explain this. He would think of the question in his head, a question such as who was the 16th president of the United States. That's not playing. That's not playing. Would answer the question, Abraham Lincoln. Jose Silva was mind blown, and so he wrote to Professor J.B. Ryan at Duke University. J.B. Ryan was famous for his very interesting extrasensory perception. And Silva just a second. I trained my daughter to have ESP. J.B. Ryan replied back in a letter and said, no, that's absolutely not true. No one can be trained to have. There we go. All right, I found it. Yeah, you have to watch if you have anything else going that wants to come in and take some time over on our system. All right, so let me get back to where we were. Remake Learning Days. That's going to be happening at the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center that houses the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. So we're located at 4510 East Linwood Boulevard. And starting at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. this Saturday from 10 until 2, we'll be hosting a fun day out where kids can get their hands on some robots, on drones. They'll learn a little bit about flying drones. We're going to have some paper airplanes, some rockets that they can launch. So there's going to be a lot going on, and we would like for you to bring your child or you to come around and see what we're doing. It's open, it's free. We're going to have hot dogs, potato chips, pop, drinks, all kind of things for you, and just learn a little bit. We're also going to be recognizing our young people that have been involved in our robotics workshop that's been going on since they finished their Lego League competition in December. In January, we started having a workshop where the kids could just learn to build with Legos vehicles on their own. So they've been working with that since January. We have them working on now to build a item that will actually bounce a ball into a target. So they've got a game that we wanted them to build robots to be able to play. So that's something that we're going to be showing and doing and just having some fun while we're out there. So it's going to be a good day. We hope that you will come and enjoy it and see what the kids have been working on. You may want to get your child involved in our robotics program, which we will start again in August. So this is the kids that have been working with us. Some of them from our Lego League, they actually have been working with us since school started. And we've picked up some more in December or in January for this workshop that we will bring back to be part of the Lego team when school starts. So we're working with kids, and they're ranging from 8. The ones we got now are 8 to about 12 or 13 years old. If you'd like to get your child involved in the BFTAA robotics program, we're ready to have you. We will have places to let you know where you can sign up. You go to our website, it's easy to sign up and be on the list so that you can be involved. We're also going to be involved in a Kids Tech Day that'll be happening in June, and we'll want to give you some information about that also, or July, I believe it is. June or July, we'll get some more information about that to have at the event to hand out, because all the times that you can bring your kid out to different technology events that are going on are beneficial. They learn, they maybe see and find out that that's something they maybe want to get involved in. So we'll be partnering with We Code KC and other organizations that will be down at the Kids Tech Day, and we want to invite you to there. At the Remake Learning Days that we have, we're also going to be partnering with Urban Tech. So Miss Ina Montgomery and the group from Urban Tech will be down working with us too. So come on out. Remake Learning Days in Kansas City is going on from May 1st through the 16th. And it may spill over a little bit past then, but you can go online, go into remakelearningdays.org. So Remake Learning Days is all one word, remakelearningdays.org, and then put in a / Kansas City, and you'll see all the events that are going on with Remake Learning Days in Kansas City over this period. And some started in late April, and some may go a little after May, but basically the events run from May 1st to May 16th. And, check them out. They're going on right now. There may be something happening at your kid's school or in an area close by you this week that you want to take your child to. Be sure and check it out. Remake Learning Days. And be sure and come by the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center, where the Black Family Technology Awareness Association will be hosting Robots and Drones. Here we come. And that's going to be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. this Saturday at the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center, 4510 East Linwood Boulevard in the former Milton Moore Elementary School. We'll be outside unless it's raining, then we're going to move into the gym. But basically, we're going to be outside without activities and fun for the young people and for families to learn about technology. So we want to see you there, and thank you in advance, because we know you're coming. All right, we got, the launch should be happening now. Let me get this off of here. We almost missed it. I don't want to do that. Where is the launch? We had it up here. Oh, now it's gone. It wants to show us that again. Let's skip that. There we are. All right, let's see if they're going to launch this now. Starliner. All right. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching live right now. Let's see. Okay. Don't know exactly what's going on out there. I'll see if they have some audio for us. It should be. Let's see if I can bring up this other screen. Here we go. Flight test live. Okay, they're getting ready. Let's check this out right now. I'm going to change the video for us. See if we can get another live shot here.
designed for crew, and it will lift off on United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket, which ULA just finished fueling cryogenics a few minutes ago. Now, both Starliner and the rocket stand ready on Launch Pad 41. You're seeing a beautiful view there from one of our helicopters at nearby Cape Canaveral Space Force Station's Launch Pad 41. And the last time an Atlas-class rocket sent humans to space was 61 years ago for the final flight of NASA's Mercury program.
Over the next 5 hours, we will walk you through the launch of today's flight test. NASA and Boeing want to certify Starliner for regular flights to the International Space Station as part of NASA's Commercial Crew program.
Nicole, why is it so important to have a second commercial spacecraft that can ferry astronauts to and from the International Space Station?
Megan, it's so important. What we need is dissimilar redundancy taking astronauts to the International Space Station. That allows us to not be reliant on just one company or one rocket. It provides that backup capability so we can continue to have that sustained presence on the International Space Station and do all the science and technology development that we need for future missions like Artemis to the moon.
Yeah, it's such a great platform, and it's great that we get to utilize it in such a way by supporting the Commercial Crew program and what it's trying to do for the space station.
Yeah, the partnership between...
So what they're talking about now is that for those of us that remember the space shuttle was a single vehicle manufactured by NASA, and when they actually had the problem, when it got old and 20 years in, there was no backup. So we've been launching with, the Russians had to start launching a lot of the resupply to the space station. The United States doesn't want to be dependent upon anybody else. Yeah, we will cooperate with them, but not be dependent. So to have redundancy, SpaceX is going to the space station, and Boeing is making the Starliner to go to the space station. So there'll be two separate companies that will have equipment that will go, and they'll alternate. One trip of resupply will be SpaceX, the next will be Boeing. But that way you always have a backup in case there is a problem. With the space shuttle, we did not have a backup if there was a big problem with the space shuttle. They did have more than one space shuttle, but after we lost a couple and they were getting old, there's only so many times you can go up into space and back. Then we found ourselves without a vehicle to carry our crews up to the space station. And we used Russian lift capabilities to go there. So once this takes off, the United States will have Boeing and they will have SpaceX to get spacecraft, to get people, to get supplies to the space station. They may still use the Russians, but we won't have to, so that we can have more redundancy. In case there's an emergency, you'd have more than one craft that would be able to help remove people from the space station or whatever may go on. So let's go back and see what they're talking about and how close we are to liftoff. It was supposed to be going, looks like now they're talking 3 hours. That's a long time. So let's see what time they're saying they're going to take off.
On its way to the International Space Station. But for now, let's head back into the suit-up room. We got a live view at the top of the broadcast, but let's go back in there now because that is where all the action is happening. And right now we have a live view of pilot Sunny Williams there. She's sitting down, talking to some technicians that are in the room with her. Nicole, what we are waiting to see right now, obviously they are suited up in their intravehicular suits, but we are expecting to see a pressure check on their suits soon, right?
Absolutely. So
It
there's
looks
a
like
huge
they're not
team
getting
of
ready to
folks
leave
from David
anywhere
Clark
soon.
and NASA and Boeing that are all working together to make sure the astronauts' suits are perfect prior to
So
launch.
yeah, with
and
that
so they will get suited in. You can actually see
pre-launch
Butch
stuff,
there.
now
He's in the
they look
recliner
like
with
it's
a
shown on
visor
here.
down. He's going
We're
through his
talking
first
3 hours
leak
and
check.
57
so it
minutes,
looks like
so
maybe
we're not
he's
going to
kicking
stay
back
on
and
the
relaxing,
line
but
or
actually those
stay
suits, when they're
online
pressurized,
that long
it's
watching
more
it.
comfortable
But this
to be
is
laying back.
them
Otherwise, you have
getting
some really
ready.
hard
So
pressure
they
points.
said
And so he's going through
6:30
that leak
or
check now. They're
5:30
testing the integrity of the suit
Kansas
prior
City
to
time,
launch.
Central
Yeah, so they're
time.
blowing air
But that's
into the
just
suit to
for
inflate it. That's why we see
them
him
getting
inflating seated
started
there,
or
and that's why
getting
his
ready for
visor's
this
down,
flight.
because we're making sure that it maintains the right pressure for any
So this
issues that they
says,
might
yeah,
have.
they're not even
the
in
suit
the
has
space
to
capsule
protect them.
yet, so
Absolutely.
it is going to be a
their
while
life support system, really.
before.
And so,
But
should there be a
okay,
problem
they're
in
checking the
Starliner,
pressure on his
they will
suit.
close their visor. That suit can inflate, and it has the pressure and also the air supply to keep the astronauts safe in the event of emergency.
And Dee Nicole mentioned David Clark, so that's the company that worked with Boeing to design these suits we're looking at, right?
Absolutely. So they worked closely with veteran astronaut Chris Ferguson to come up with the details. It is a lot lighter than the traditional NASA astronaut spacesuits. It's about 10 pounds lighter. It's very minimal. You could see on the left side, right under maybe
so
their
let's
name,
see
that's where the umbilical
what
would
else
go
we've
in,
got
and that's where
going on.
the air
Again,
would
we
go
just
into.
told you about
The Chippas, which is a soft helmet.
remake learning days.
The new thing
This
about
is
this
the
suit is
first
the helmets are actually
weekend
attached to the
or
spacesuit.
first show
It's
that I've
actually like a
had in
hoodie.
May,
And
so we
that's where
haven't
the
seen and we
communication
should
cord
see
is
what's
connected to,
going
so
on
that they're
in the
able to
night
talk to
skies
flight
now that
controls
it's
during
getting
their
warm
mission.
outside and you may
And
be
then, of
out
course, they have
camping
gloves, as most
or
suits
just
do,
out
and these gloves
after
are
dark where you
touchscreen
can take a
sensitive,
look
as
up.
we do have a
We'll
screen
come
on
back
our
to this later, but I
capsule.
don't think they're getting
And
ready
it looks
to
like
take
Butch
off
is about to unzip
anywhere
his
soon.
helmet there, so
right
it seems
now.
like
So
we've had
let's
a good
see, where are they? Right
leak
here, if I
check
can-
there. Speaking of Butch, again, Commander Butch Wilmore, NASA astronaut and retired.
Oops. Yeah. All right. So we'll go back, but we won't get to see. I was hoping that we'd get to see the takeoff. I thought they were going to be leaving, but they're just starting the broadcast at 5:30 live. So they'll be talking and doing that for another couple of 2 or 3 hours. I've got it set that YouTube will notify me as they get ready to go into launch. So hopefully I'll be able to catch that and capture that takeoff. But let's look at what's going on in the night sky. So this is a regular broadcast piece that we bring out, and it's called What's Up. So this is What's Up from NASA.
What's up for May? The moon hangs out with Saturn twice this month. The Scorpion's heart briefly goes missing. And meteors in the morning courtesy of Comet Halley. On May 3rd, in the hour or so before dawn, you'll find the crescent moon rising with Saturn in morning twilight. The pair are trailed by the red planet Mars, which rises about 45 minutes after Saturn. They form a nice lineup in the east for early risers to enjoy. Then on the following morning, the moon shows a slimmer crescent and has moved between Saturn and Mars. The two planets are continuing to widen their separation following a close conjunction in early April where they appeared super close in the sky. And if you have a clear view to the horizon, you might just catch a glimpse of Mercury rising in the hour before the sun. It's shining pretty brightly, but it's also low in the sky and competing with dawn twilight, so it makes for a good challenge. Those in the southern hemisphere will have an easier time spotting Mercury as it rises a good bit higher in the sky for you. On May 23rd, the full moon will appear quite close to the bright red star Antares in Scorpius as the pair rise. But for those on the east coast of the US, south of Delaware and down through the whole state of Florida, you'll actually observe the moon pass in front of Antares, an event called an occultation. Over a couple of hours as the pair rise into the night sky, the moon will move slightly in its orbit, first obscuring and then revealing Antares. And finally, on May 31st, the planet Saturn rises in the wee hours of the morning with the crescent moon in tow. If you're up early on the final day of May, you'll find the pair toward the southeast. They'll be close enough to appear in the same field of view if observing through binoculars. May brings one of two annual meteor showers that are attributed to Halley's Comet. The Eta Aquarid meteors are seen each year in May, whereas the Orionid meteors streak through our skies in October. This situation occurs because Earth crosses through Comet Halley's orbit twice every year in May and October. Along Halley's path is a meteor stream, lots of little grains of rock and dust cast off by the comet, and these strike our atmosphere and burn up as meteors. The shower peaks overnight on May 5th and into the morning of the 6th. You can see meteors from this shower the whole week centered around the peak night though. The place on the sky where the meteors appear to originate, the radiant, is in the constellation Aquarius, so you'll have a chance to see meteors as long as the radiant is above the horizon. With more meteors, the higher that point rises in the sky. This time of year, Aquarius rises after midnight, so the time to watch this shower is in the few hours before dawn. This is a great shower for observers in the southern hemisphere. The radiant rises a good bit higher in the sky before morning twilight because in May, which is autumn there, nights are longer. Those in optimal dark sky conditions can see 40 meteors per hour. For northern hemisphere observers, it's less than half that amount, more like 10 to 20 meteors per hour. It's still an above average shower though, especially with the peak this year being near a new moon, making for a darker sky. And with the warmer temperatures that come with springtime north of the equator, it can be a worthy shower to go out and enjoy. As always, to see the most meteors, find yourself a safe, dark spot away from bright lights and give your eyes a few minutes to adapt to the dark. Lie down with your feet pointed more or less toward the east and look straight overhead. Bring a warm drink and a friend or two and turn an early morning into a meteor morning as you search the skies for the Eta Aquarid meteors. Here are the phases of the moon for May. Stay up to date on NASA's missions exploring the solar system and beyond at science.nasa.gov. I'm Preston Dykes from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and that's what's up for this month.
All right. So that's what's going on up in the night sky. A lot of meteor watching that you can do. Early in the morning, get out and check it out. It's always good to get out. As the spring is coming and summer's not too far away. We've been having a lot of rain here in Kansas City, but I just can't wait. I want to get out in my kayak, do some fishing and just some paddling around. Paddling around. I don't have a pedal one, so I have to paddle. But we'll be paddling around the lakes here in the city. Matter of fact, I've got a new group that I'm going to be paddling with called Paddle KC that I've joined. I haven't went out on any excursions with them, but I'm supposed to do my first one this Wednesday. So I'm going to go out this Wednesday and do my first paddle excursion with Paddle KC as I prepare for the Missouri 340, which is a race from Kansas City to St. Louis on the Missouri River. So I'm getting in preparation for that event that's coming up. And I'll be keeping you in touch as we move forward and get closer to the time. But yeah, we're going to keep on going. I know what's going on before I leave. It's about at the end, but I want to remind you again about our Remake Learning Days. We want you to come out this Saturday. This Saturday, Remake Learning Days. 4510 East Linwood Boulevard from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Bring your kids. We'll have hot dogs. We'll have chips. We'll have robots. We'll have drones. We'll have a great time for us to get out and fly together, to learn together, and just have some fun. We're also going to recognize and give some certificates to our students that have been with us this workshop. We had a robotics workshop that's been going on since December. So we're going to do that probably about 11 o'clock, 11:30 for the young people that are there. And we want to recognize our young people that are learning, that are taking some time to get involved in what's going on. So we hope that you would definitely come and check us out, come and enjoy with us this Remake Learning Days event. So thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. Thank you for just being a part of KUAW and the BFTAA and more show. So we're going to leave here with some of the live view from the space or the Starliner test flight, even though we're not going to get to see them take off on this show, which I really have wanted us to do. We won't be able to see them take off, but let's see if we can just see what they're talking about as BFTAA and more gets ready to leave. Let's see.
for our interview.
All right, so as we go out, this is your host, Louis George Walker. I'm glad to be a part of this, glad that you're here. Join us every Monday from 5 to 5:45 for the BFTAA and more show, brought to you by the Black Family Technology Awareness Association and the WEB Du Bois Learning Center, right here on our project station, KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom Radio. We'll see you again next week. Have yourself a great day.
Areas that we're looking at, and the first is the launch pad. You can see from the shot right here, the seas look great, the sky looks good, and overhead we're looking really fantastic. So let's put up the weather graphic and just give you the breakdown for the launch weather officer here in the area. That's, you really can't get much better than that. 95% go. You know, they wouldn't want to put 100% because
I have you loud and clear on one.
Roger that. Blue team has arrived at CAT level 12, performing white room cockpit paper and O2 checks.
Roger.